Welcome back. Before we actually start hashing our passwords, let's just talk about why we want to hash our passwords and what kind of way can we actually secure a password in a database. So first thing we want to talk about is the actual just putting in plain text passwords. So if we put in like plain text passwords, it would be a big problem for multiple reasons. First of all, I as an admin would be able to read your password when you log into my system. That's kind of bad, right? Another reason would be if somebody from the outside hacked our database and they would get your ID, your username maybe, and then they would also have your password, because of course there would also be a username here. So the problem here would be that now he could log in as user 1 or user 2, and then he could actually just copy your password. And those are both big problems. So we are not allowed to do it like this. Instead, what will happen is we are going to create a database that still has the username and the password and the ID, and instead it'll have a hashed password right here. And the hashed password is going to be something that's unreadable. So maybe this name right here is going to be something like this, which is unreadable, and this might be this one, which again is unreadable, and then it doesn't matter if you have the username. So doing this will actually solve the problem, so that now people can't just copy your password, because one thing you need to know about hashed passwords is you cannot unhash them. There's an algorithm that makes it so that you cannot just take a password like this and just unhash it back to this term right here. It's not possible to do it because of the way the algorithm kind of does a lot of different recursions. We'll talk about that later, but to kind of make the password as impossible as possible to unhash or to convert back to the original value right here. So there's no way to do that. This is not like encryption, decryption. You cannot do it with a hashed password like this. So we need to figure out how to do that. There's another problem with hashed passwords, and that is, let's put another example right here. Another problem with this could be if we have the same name right here. Let's say that I use the same password as another user. You would notice that the hashed value would actually be the same. So if I had this set up right here, I could actually go and say this would be your hashed value, but that would mean that another user with the exact same password would have the same value as me. And I could actually now use something called rainbow attacks to figure out what your password is by just starting with the basic passwords and taking your hash algorithm and just trying them one by one, converting into these passwords. And at some point, if I hit the password that you already have with the hashed value, boom, I would know this is your password, and I could steal it like that using these rainbow attacks. Now that's not a good thing either. So we actually have to add one more thing to our hashed password right here, which is going to be a salt. So I'm just going to add one more row down here. Actually, let's just get rid of the username. So I'll just add a salt right here to my user, and the salt is going to be a unique value that we are going to add to the password before we actually go and hash it. So that means there's going to be this value plus this value, and that's what we're going to hash. And that means that now these passwords, again, will all of a sudden be completely different. Even though they might have the same password behind them, they will not look the same anymore. So in our setup right here, we need both a hashed password and a salt to unhash our current setup. So this will be the actual solution we're going to build. We're going to have a salt. We're going to use that salt together with a plain password. So meaning that what we're going to do when we want to kind of log in, we're going to get this login information right here. Let's try and see if we can get it out here. We're going to add that login information to this right here, the salt, like this. And then we're going to take those two together like a string. So in more precise, there will not be a plus. We'll just put them directly together like this. We'll take that value and we'll run that through a hash algorithm of some kind. That'll be some kind of, depending on what you want, some kind of hash algorithm like this. And that algorithm is going to convert that value into this value right here. And that means we cannot go back. This value will stick now. The next time we want to log in, we'll do the same thing. We'll look up those two informations again. First your password like this, and also your salt, and then we'll just run it through the same algorithm, and then we'll just compare it against this value right here. And then I'll know that you are the user you say you are, because you used the same login combined with my salt locally, and with that I know that you're actually the user. And this means it's not easy to do a rainbow attack anymore, because even if I try just to execute a gazillion different logins, since I don't have the salt, I don't know what your complete password and salt combined is actually all about. So it just makes the password a little bit more secure. So that's what we're going to do this lesson. or next lesson, sorry, we're going to actually add hashed password and salt to our entities, and then we're going to start actually building code that can add these salts and passwords to our system. So let's just end it right there and see you next time. We'll do some code. Bye.